A lot of people struggle to understand. Your brother obviously has a very significant following, cult following, some would say, but people who care a lot and deeply about the Second Amendment. You had a conversation with him about his recent rhetoric. How did that happen? How did you tell him tone it down?
Well, it's Aaron, I'm delighted to be here, but it's a conversation we've been having for longer than you can imagine. Yeah. And I think Ted referred to that last night because my advice to him over the years has been, please tone it down. And there's a line that you shouldn't cross. And his latest comments about President Obama and Hillary Clinton have crossed the line. And I was offended with those. And he knows that. And I was, frankly, very pleased to see the conversation you had with him last night, because he did apologize for making those statements. And not a direct quote, but in front of you and CNN and your millions of viewers, he promised not to call people names in the future. And I respect him for doing that. And as I've said, I will continue to be the cattle prod and the advisor as he goes through life, fulfilling that promise.
Now, do you think he can keep that promise? I mean, he went on Ben Ferguson, who you know was on this program earlier, went on his program today, and I listened to the entire interview, and he called the president a racist.
That could be described as calling someone a name, and I haven't seen that, so I didn't bring my cattle prod with me because it's not allowed in New York City. But I am very serious about helping Ted calm his rhetoric down and be more fact-based than attacking individuals in an inappropriate way.
So why does he do these things? I mean, he's known as this. I mean, some people say, well, he does it because he wants the attention, he wants the publicity, and if he didn't hurl these insults at people, people wouldn't pay attention to him. Is that why he does it?
Well, I think it's really simple. I think it's very clear that Ted's very passionate about the things that he believes in. And part of his personality is that he is provocative. So you put those two things together and it comes out the way you see it. I agree with him on some points, but I disagree vehemently on others. And we,
like you said, I mean, you thought what he said about the president was utterly inappropriate.
Over the line.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no reason why you would call the president what he did. And I've told him that. And he's admitted that that was a mistake. And what it really boils down to, and I'll get right to the issue here, is that I am amazed at the attention that his comments and his vocabulary has gotten, the attention that it has when we're dealing with so many more substantial issues in this country. And the fact that Ted actually uses the vocabulary he does is inconsequential relative to the will of the people of the United States. And you know, as we discussed earlier today, I'm amazed that there's so many surveys out, and I'm convinced that our government is not paying attention to the will of the people.